on.
You humans always making a mess. You come to DuchyCon. You all walk around and ask me questions like, how do you do Bumblebee's voice when he doesn't speak? And then I have to come and clean it up.
How you doing? Let me first say, when I walked around this room yesterday and there was nobody here, I went, this is a big space to fill. You're going to need a lot of people to fill this space. And what do we think of the show so far? Do you think it's filled? Do you think it's going well? I think so. I think it's an amazing achievement. The amount of people that have been out there is absolutely fantastic. So, yes, my name's Mark Ryan. In the 80s, we did a show called Robin of Sherwood. Over there. So I have the record for killing most people in 1 hour of family viewing in the United Kingdom. Very proud of that, yes. Managed to kill 18 Normans in one sword fight. Ray Winston and I had the competition to see who could kill most stuntmen. And so I managed to win that one. I have several claims to fame. One is that I toured. Anybody here know what Monty Python is? I thought you might. You might shut up. Who brought you along? We toured America with Eric Idle doing Eric Idle Exploits Monty Python. So I'm one of the 3 men that's ever stood on the stage at Carnegie Hall with Eric Idle singing "Sit on My Face and Tell Me That You Love Me," wearing a green sparkly dress. That's my other claim to fame. And my other claim to fame, which is a Transformers claim to fame, is I'm the only man that's ever got the word bollocks into the Transformers lexicon. And on the second film, absolutely true, second film, when I did Behold the Glory of a Jetfire, I'm a mercenary doombringer, you know, I'm about to open a space bridge. And they wanted to get some words in, they said, just make some stuff up, say something. So the rocket fires out of his Ironhide, oh bollocks. So we managed to keep that in the film. So I'm one of the only people who's ever got the word bollocks into the Transformers lexicon. So thank you. I'm very proud of that one as well, yes. The funny thing was that when they found out what bollocks actually was, because it was going out on American television, they said to me, we'll have to change this word. Can't have bollocks going out on American television. So they called me back in, and I was back in the studio, and they said, we can't have bollocks, come up with something else. So I went, you tosspot, you can't have that. Wanker, no, you can't have that. So, no, we wouldn't have that. We wouldn't, not on American television, you can't say wanker. And so we're running through, so finally I said, I've got it, cobblers. We can say cobblers. And they said, what's cobblers? I said, oh, my mum would say it, so it's not that bad. So they actually changed the word bollocks for the word cobblers, and it went out on American television. And later on, someone must have worked out, no, cobblers is the same as bollocks. So I managed to change the word bollocks to cobblers, and they paid me for it. Showbiz. Right, I'm sure you've got questions. I hope you've got questions anyway. Because it's supposed to be a Q&A. So anybody's got a question, if you've got a microphone down there, shout out your question and I'll try and answer the question as honestly as I can.
What is, in your opinion, the worst thing you ever done for the Transformers movie?
The worst thing?
Yes.
Wow, that's difficult. I can't really think of anything that's been difficult. I've done some dangerous and stupid things, which have been kind of fun. On the third film, we filmed at Cape Canaveral, and I was actually standing on launch pad 39A, and there were 6 of us that were cleared to stand there because the Enterprise, the Endeavour space shuttle was there. So there was me, Shire, Michael Bay, the DP, and one of the ADs. We were allowed to actually stand so close to the Endeavour space shuttle we could actually touch it. And I do remember sitting down on the blast wall, and for those of you who don't know, 39A is where all the lunar launches went from. and where all the shuttle launches went from. And when you look at the launch pad for a shuttle launch, that's where they launched from. And we were literally sitting underneath an actual space shuttle, the Endeavour. And Michael Bay and I were sitting on the blast wall, just waiting for the shot to be put together. And we were just, he looked at me and he looked at me and he smiled and he went, pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. And I went, pretty cool. Pretty cool. No, we've had some very cool moments. But Michael's a big practical joker. And the sound guys, he's always pulling practical jokes. And there was one day we were waiting, I think it was when we were at the Griffiths Observatory. And Peter, who is the sound guy, did a film with in Ireland called King Arthur. Anybody remember that film, King Arthur, with Keira Knightley? I choreographed all those sword fights. I trained Keira with the bow and arrow and all the sort, Mads Mikkelsen, all those guys. I trained and choreographed all those fights. And so Peter was there, and all of a sudden we heard this woof, there was a big explosion. And Michael was going, "Where's Peter? Get Peter here now, bring him here right now." And we all went, "Oh, what's happened?" So Peter gets up, he's running across the set, he's like, "Get here, Peter, get here now." Peter's running across, and he looks at me as he's walking, he goes, "What? I don't know. So he gets there, Michael's saying, "Peter, now." And he turns around, he's got a table behind him on a little trolley. And as Peter's running across, he pulls the trolley around, pulls off the top, and it was a birthday cake. And we took literally a break for 15 minutes to sing happy birthday to Peter, the sound guy, sound mixer on the set. And we took a break while we did it. So that's the type of thing that Michael does. He's a funny guy. So, but I don't have any bad ones. I don't have any bad memories. They've all been fun, stupid, fun stuff. So, but good stuff. Okay. So that's what, this is the left side of the brain, this is the right side of the brain, and we want to see if we can get a question from the right side of the brain now.
Robin of Sherwood, I do remember.
Your little girl,
yeah.
that makes me feel really happy now. It makes me, I'm 39, my body is a temple, it's a ruined temple, but it's still a temple. Well, thanks, somebody got it over there, eh?
Okay. When I look at the series,
yes,
the music, Planet,
yes,
was a very important part of his show.
Vital.
Did you know at the time when you were filming that music was going to be part of the show? And another question I also have is, what was the most difficult part of filming the series for you to play the character, especially as the Nasir?
Well, saying my name was the most difficult thing that I had to do. The real true backstory to this is that, and I didn't know until some years ago that Paul Knight, the producer, was already involved with this process. But the true story from our point of view, Ray Winston, myself, Clive Mantle, and it may have been Pete Williams, we were driving around, we were filming in Northumberland at a place called Bamber Castle. And for those of you that are Harry Potter fans, any Harry Potter fans here? I don't know why, I thought there might be. Hogwarts, the actual location they use is a place called, is at Berwick-upon-Tweed, and it's one of the castles up there where we shot Robin of Sherwood. So Hogwarts was actually Nottingham Castle for Robin of Sherwood. Absolutely true. And we ended up driving around one night looking for a bar to get thrown out of, and Clannad had done the music for a show called Harry's Game. And Harry's Game was about the situation in Northern Ireland. So I had this tape playing with the Clannad music playing in the car. And it may have been Ray that came up, he went, Marky, this is the kind of music that we need for Robin of Sherwood. He said, it's different, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's a bit different. So I said, you know what, you're right. So I actually gave that tape to Paul Knight. Paul Knight said, I've been listening to this, I think it's great, what do you think? The boys like this. He said, we love this is great music, these guys are really talented. So Paul played my tape to Richard Carpenter as they drove from London to Bristol, and Richard agreed, and that's how Clannad came to do the music, and Paul was already sort of interested in talking to him. And there is online, I actually put it on my Facebook page, a great interview with Moya, where she's talking about how they, and I was talking about them, and Paul Knight talks about it as well, so it's actually how that came about. Look, from our point of view, but without doubt, the music was an integral character in the show and was a big part of the show. So that's true. And my character originally was called Edmund the Archer, and I was going to get killed just after the first episode. And halfway through filming, the first film that we made, because we made 4 2-hour films for the show, Paul came to me and said, would you like to stay on? Because originally, the first day of filming, Ian Sharp came to me and he said, you're not Edmund the Archer anymore now, you're now Nazir the Saracen, right? He said, can you do a sword fight with 2 swords? I said, how long have I got? He said, about an hour. I didn't, I had about a week. So we wind it to see if I could do it. So we went and worked out this sword fight, and that's how Nazir, at the end of the episode where they were working with their bows strung, Nazir is supposed to get filled full of arrows in the back, and obviously they didn't do it, so now Nazir became part of the... And I'm very grateful and humbled by what Robin and Sherwood did for my career and my life. And there's very few things, obviously born in Yorkshire, growing up and playing as a kid in Sherwood Forest, which I did, it's very humbling to be added into a legend which has survived for almost 1,000 years. So now when you see Robin Hood stories, there's always an Arab character or a Moor character or an assassin character, and that came out of Robin of Sherwood. So here we are, whatever, 30 years later, Ray, Clyde, Jason, we are still pals, close pals to this day. So, to answer the question? Marvellous. Thank you. What's your name, love? What is it? Minahan. Okay. Good question. Right. Let's see what we've got. Should we go to the left side of the brain here? The left side of the brain, the artistic side of the brain?
Nice. Just a stupid question, but did you get seasick on Black Sails?
I didn't, because I served in the military on big boats.